This Level 8 theory video has been generously sponsored by Musicians English, the Calgary-based music organization which helps connect Korean music teachers with the RCM's curriculum. For more information about this great program, you can check out the link in the description below. Today in Level 8, we are going to talk about something called hybrid meter. In Level 5, you learned about simple time or simple meter. Those are time signatures where the main pulse is subdivided into groups of twos. Then we got to Level 6 and we learned about compound time. Those are time signatures in which the main pulse is subdivided into groups of threes or odd numbers. Hybrid meter is when we combine both. And you may have to strap in your seatbelt for this one because the rules are going to get a little foggy, and sometimes it's just going to have to come down to your common sense to complete some of these questions. So you need to remember everything you've learned so far and have it at the ready. Hybrid meter, what is it? Believe it or not, composers are allowed to invent their own time signatures and brand new meters, some of which you might have never seen before. Composers are allowed to write music in crazy time signatures like 15/16 or 21/4. They're free to do whatever they want, so long as it helps the performer play their music and get the message across as to what they were intending to write. So while anything's possible, you can feel a little bit comfortable because some possibilities are more frequent than others. In today's course, we are only going to worry about time signatures where the top number is either 5, 7, 10, or 11. And the chances are those are the numbers you will get on your RCM Level 8 exam. Let's start with something like 5/8. Now 5/8 is a hybrid meter. Why? 5 is an odd number and it can't be divided into two equal groups equally. So we have two options for 5/8's time signature. We can group the subdivisions into groups of 3 plus 2, or we can do 2 plus 3. So you have two options. 3 plus 2 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 2 plus 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So those are the two possibilities. Now this affects you because you will be asked to fill in rests for the hybrid meter of 5/8. You have a choice. It's your decision whether you choose to group the rests in 3 plus 2 or 2 plus 3. I know that's hard to believe you have a choice on a music theory exam, but you do. You have to do one thing. You have to tell the examiner what your decision was. So at the top of the bar, in brackets, you either have to write 3 plus 2 if that's what you chose, or 2 plus 3 if that's what you chose. And then underneath the question, you will write out your groups, and you will add the rests and adhere to all the rules we learned in the past. If you did 3 plus 2, the first group of 3, you have to follow the rest grouping rules for groups of 3, and the back group, a group of 2, you have to follow the rest rules for a group of 2. Let's look at the hybrid meter of 7/8 or 7/16 or 7/4, it doesn't matter, but we'll stay with 7/8 for now. There's a few more options. You get to choose how you are going to group the rests. You can do 3 plus 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2 plus 3, or 2 plus 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 plus 2 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 plus 2 plus 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Or 2 plus 3 plus 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's your choice. Help the examiner by writing a bracket above the clef at the beginning of the bar that shows what subdivision you chose. And then again, write your groupings underneath the bar and adhere to the old rules of connecting rests. So groups of 3s, you can't attach the back to, and groups of 2s, you can attach whatever you want. Now let's look at an even more complicated one, the hybrid meter of 10/16. Let's do 10/16. You have a choice. There are 4 main groups. You can do 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can do 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3. Or you can mix those up into all the possibilities you can think of. I'm going to clap 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So there are 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or we can do 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's fun. You should try it at home. So, you tell your examiner which groupings, which series of groupings you chose. You write it in brackets and you put it at the top left corner of the question. And then underneath, you write your groups so you don't get lost. So if you chose 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2, you adhere to the rules of the rests. 3/16 have to be attached appropriately, and 2/16 and 2/16 have to be attached appropriately, and you work from the outside in. That's it. That's the new concepts for the Level 8 RCM Rhythm chapter. So, hybrid meter is a combination of both. You need to know your rest grouping rules really well. You need to be able to tell the difference between simple meter and compound meter. And you have to decide when it's okay to combine the rules of simple meter and compound meter together. It's also important that when you're writing these rests or when you're writing music in hybrid meter, that you help the musician see the groupings by attaching beams appropriately based on the subdivisions you chose. So in 5/8, for example, if you wrote 3 plus 2, it would be very unfortunate if you wrote 5/8 notes and attached them all with one gigantic beam, because the musician can't tell what the grouping is. You can help the musician, you can help your examiner, and you can help yourself stay organized by showing the grouping in the beam. So if there's 5/8 notes, the first 3 are neatly presented and organized within the lower beam, and the back 2 are organized by connecting those 2 beams and by leaving a space in between the 2 groups. And of course, you can do this with 16th notes and 32nd notes as well. Let's go test out everything we just learned on the whiteboard, and it will make a lot more sense when you can see it visually.